Hello there everybody, Fantical here, and I'm going to do two reaction videos today. With this first one being 6 real UFO sightings caught on film. And this video is by Chills. There's a chance I make out the last one or two. Parts of the video, so the link to this original video will the link to this original video on Chills' channel will be in the description box down below. And let's see what these UFO what type of UFO sightings we have in this video.
Chills. Number 6. From Mars with Love. In 2012, a 2,000-pound robot named Curiosity smashed onto the surface of Mars for the first time. This was NASA's big opportunity to explore the red planet from a ground perspective instead of using satellite probes, and they had spent over $2.5 billion to construct a machine that was strong enough to make it happen. Curiosity's mission was not only to map Mars, but also to find clues that would help scientists figure out what the environment may have looked like in the past. The last thing the scientists expected to find was possible evidence of current life on Mars, but that's exactly what happened. It was 2014, just 2 years into the mission. At this point, Curiosity had only covered a total of 4 miles at a snail's pace, but this slow progress was actually to be expected. The vast distance between Earth and Mars meant that the robot took a long time to receive movement orders, and the NASA team was also being extremely slow and careful with their expensive piece of equipment. As far as the research team was concerned, they were just as happy the robot had not toppled over yet or stopped receiving messages within 5 minutes of landing. Lasting 2 years on the planet was a remarkable feat that exceeded their expectations. The sturdy little navigator robot was examining space rocks at a new site named Kimberly when it took 2 pictures in particular that contained something quite curious. These 2 pictures, each taken one day apart, clearly show a bright column of white light shining from a hilltop in the distance. The faraway beam is unmistakable against the barren and rocky landscape. It is so small yet so out of place even for Mars. These raw images may have been
I wonder if
overlooked by the
Curiosity
government
actually
entirely,
took
if not
any
the
night
general
vision
public,
pictures.
who were quick to notice them
That's
on
something I have
NASA's
often wondered.
website. Many people were sure that the white light was an alien beacon to either warn or welcome the navigator robot, while others believe it to be a UFO that was either in the process of landing or getting ready to take off. Some even
Oh, I
believe
didn't
that
even see that
NASA
there.
knew of these images already, but they were hoping that the public wouldn't notice them too. It's too far away to tell for sure, but something definitely appears to be happening out of the horizon. NASA first suggested that this light was a result of a camera glitch, but when the Huffington Post asked them to explain further, they quickly switched their explanation to cosmic ray. Cosmic rays are basically particles of energies from explosions deep within the universe. They can cause radiation poisoning if they come into contact with astronauts. The only problem is no one really knows what a cosmic ray looks like, so many people are unsatisfied by this official explanation. They believe this is a cover-up story for something bigger. What's really weird is that this strange light is only captured on one of the navigator's 2 cameras. On the left camera you can see the bright light in both pictures, and on the right camera there is no light at all. This may prove that this is an equipped
Yeah, uh, there's a chance it could be cosmic rays, but there's also an odd chance it could be a possible UFO, unless the Curiosity rover took a couple more pictures to try and of that same area, then from that distance, then I can't say for sure if that is a UFO or not. Plus, I have often wondered if any of these Mars rovers, like the Curiosity rover, I have sometimes wondered if it's ever taken any night vision pictures, because you gotta admit that would be interesting to see some night vision photos from from one of these Mars rovers.
Didn't malfunction like NASA says, but Curiosity is still on the planet taking pictures, so why has this glitch never been repeated again? Either way, when you consider that this is the same robot that found evidence of a dried up lake on Mars earlier in 2012, then maybe life does exist on that planet, and maybe the photos really are evidence of some sort of alien technology in action. If the strange light really is a beacon or some other kind of alien activity, it is still far enough away that it would literally take years for Curiosity to reach and investigate. Until then, the public will just have to keep speculating. Number 5, Russell Crowe and the UFO. You may have enjoyed Russell Crowe's Hollywood performances in movies such as Gladiator and A Beautiful Mind, but do you remember the one where he sees a UFO while watching for fruit bats? Probably not. That's because it's not really a movie, but it's what happened in 2013 when the actor visited his office overlooking the Sydney Botanic Gardens in Australia. It was there that Russell Crowe had set up a camera to record from his office in hopes of catching some of the winged critters in flight. When he checked the tapes the next day, he was shocked to find not bats, but a UFO flying across the screen. These are real, he writes in a video that he later posted on YouTube. The time-lapse footage shows a flat neon disc zip across the screen from right to left at a high rate of speed. The inside of the disc itself is bright white, but the edges are deep red. There also appears to be a pale red tractor beam that extends from the body of the saucer all the way to the ground. At the bottom of the beam, right where it touches the ground, the color switched to a bright white with a gold trim. On his verified Twitter account, Russell Crowe explains that the pictures were
I'm not gonna
taken
lie,
with a Canon 5D camera that had
that
no
does look kind of
flash.
spooky.
He explains that
Saying
there
that.
is no way for the UFO to be a lens flare because the camera is in a fixed position, yet the object moves rapidly. Whether or not the UFO is real is yet to be fully determined, but one thing is for sure. Russell Crowe thinks aliens visited him in Australia.
Yeah, I will admit. Yeah, I just want to pause there to mention that with a time lapse, you with time lapse photos, usually the camera in question that you're usually having the doing the time lapse photos with are normally stationary, meaning that the camera in question is placed in a certain spot where it stays there in that one spot, um, and will remain there until it gets moved. Um, so so the only way you can get a motion blur is if you had someone or something moving really fast in front of the camera just as the camera is taking the photo. That's the only way you can get that type of motion blur.
Number 4, chills in Chile. On November
I didn't
5th
know
of
Chills went to
2010,
Chile.
multiple cameras all recorded UFO activity at an Air Force show in Chile. 7 videos in total caught the exact same thing from 7 different angles, a UFO operating in plain
That
sight.
was just a joke,
And
by the
with
way.
so many
Please don't take it
different
seriously.
eyewitness accounts, this incident is one of the few times a government organization actually acknowledged the presence of UFOs and offers absolutely no cover-up story.
Really? You mean they actually acknowledged a possible UFO? Holy shit, I did not know that because they usually cover that type of shit up.
In the videotapes, fighter pilots are flying overhead in a tight formation on a clear day. Everything seems to be going as planned when suddenly a smaller object moving at an impossible rate of speed approaches them from the right side and darts past. There is absolutely no time for the jets to react before the UFO is out of sight. Had this been an attack, it would have been unlike anything the Chilean force had ever had to contend with. Instead, the UFO seems to peacefully go on its way. When the footage is paused, the UFO appears to be about one-third the size of any of the fighter crafts. It also has a dark metallic body with a lighter upper half, perhaps even a glass pod of some kind. Instead of denying this ever happened, like most governments seem to like to do, the government of Chile has fully embraced these events stands for what they are: strange, unexplainable, and worthy of further investigation. The Chilean Air Force even started an organization called CEFAA in 1997, which stands for the Study of Anomalous Aerial Phenomena. This is an actual international organization that governments join so that they can share UFO information with each other. Other participants include France, Uruguay, New Zealand, and even the USA. The CEFAA consists of leading astronomers, physicists, geographers, engineers, and other specialists from around the world, and they have all verified the legitimacy of this footage in particular. The director of the CEFAA even said that this is a rare instance of a UFO demonstrating a quote, intelligent maneuver, as it comes into close contact with the Air Force fleet and narrowly avoids hitting them. Even though this footage has been verified, there is no way to tell what exactly this UFO's intentions were as it flew by.
Uh,
Some suggest that it was surveying the aerial capabilities of mankind as a way of monitoring our technological process as a species. Others, however,
well, we
think
don't
that the
have
UFO
our
itself
technology
is
isn't
quite
that
severely
advanced, so we can't
deceived,
really talk shit
staring
about it.
technology right in our faces, just basically rubbing it right in. After all,
And
this
I'm probably gonna
surveilling
get
ring race
copyright
looking to
struck or
make another
something, or
species feel
copyright claim on
bad,
this reaction
an air show would be a good place to drive your point
because of the
home.
Simpsons and
Maybe they
the
had enough of our
Futurama.
slow driving and were
What are the chances I'm gonna get a copyright claim or something on this reaction video because of those two still images, the one from the Simpsons and the one from Futurama? I wonder if Joseph got a copyright claim from on his countdown video because of that.
showing us what a real aircraft can do in the right hands. Number 3, off the beaten trail. Rainer and Edith Shaddles own a 150-acre plot of land in Jackson, Mississippi that they have even rigged with motion-activated cameras to observe local deer and whatever else happens to walk by. One winter, as they checked the previous night's footage expecting to see some wildlife, they were as shocked as Russell Crowe to find a UFO instead. Everything on the tape appeared normal at first. It was a 49-degree night and the weather was clear. Deer began to trickle in at 7:24
I
p.m.
don't know what's more
Within
creepy,
5
seeing that
minutes,
thing that was in the
however, the
back,
animals
seeing
were
the
all
thing in the
passing through a
background, all the
string
deer
of
looking at the
lights.
camera.
They didn't necessarily seem alarmed, but they do stop what they're doing to stare up at the sky. The infrared camera that the shadows use does not need an external light, so that means the
Is it just me, or does this image here of the deer looking in the distance like that, in the direction of the camera, look like the deer is like a phantom deer or something like that, as if it was thinking, I'm watching you. You cannot surprise me, or something like that.
infrared camera that the shadows use does not need an external light, so that means the source of the white glow is coming from somewhere off camera. The light begins to intensify as the minutes pass. The deer all remain in place the whole time. After about a half an hour, the UFO finally reveals itself. The native scenery is washed in an unnaturally bright light as an object hovers overhead, studying the deer below. It's unlike anything the shadows had ever seen before, far different than a car or anything else. For one, its lights are up high in the air, and two, there is
I'm not
no
gonna lie,
window
the
within
deer.
the private
I'm not
acreage
gonna
that
lie,
they could
having it.
easily get through.
I'm not gonna lie, that does look creepy with how the deer is looking in the direction of the camera, like that, with the and you got that lens flare in the deer's eyes, like that. Cause that kind of makes the deer look rather spooky at night.
The deer are completely transfixed by the lights and stand frozen in place. After observing the deer for about 10 minutes, the UFO grows tired of them and moves on. After Rayner reviewed the footage, he immediately headed to the clearing to investigate. However, he could find no tire tracks or any other signs of a disturbance. How could this be, he wondered. After Rayner reviewed the footage, he immediately headed to the clearing to investigate. However, he could find no tire tracks or any other signs of a disturbance. How could this be, he wondered. The vehicle in the videotape was quite large and should have left something behind, yet not a single twig was out of place.
Please don't copyright strike me. This is just a reaction video.
Num-
The news station that the news report that I clipped from the news reports from. Please don't copyright strike me. Please. I'm just doing a reaction video. I'm not trying to steal. I'm not trying to steal your content. Please don't. Please don't give me a strike.
Number 2. Freaking out the French. In 2014, France saw 18 UFOs between the months of October and
Wait,
November,
18.
though the incidents were scattered.
Did it just say 18 UFO signs? Oh, too
Number
far back.
2.
Sorry about that.
Freaking out the French. In 2014, France saw 18 UFOs between the.
Oh, that's kind of spooky. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of spooky. Back to the last one where the couple knows they did acting strange like that, and the UFO and caught like a UFO on one of the trail cameras. I bet the couple were glad that they had to set up some trail cameras like that because that those trail cameras would definitely gave them like more than enough evidence to help back up their claim. And at least they know they're not going crazy as well. That there generally was a UFO.
Months of October and November, though the incidents were scattered throughout the entire country, they all had one disturbing trend in common. The UFOs were only appearing around power plants and nowhere else. One of these encounters was caught on film in northeast France, and it is especially alarming. In this eyewitness footage, a UFO is seen racing towards two smokestacks as they billow nuclear pollution. The UFO appears to be quite large and menacing as it disappears behind the smoke and re-emerges shortly after. The UFO itself looks oddly shaped as well, almost as if two mountaintops had been slapped together. Its lights blink in strange patterns that do not resemble any human aircraft, and the way it moves is particularly bizarre too. It shoots ahead in a steady straight line that does not seem affected by wind or any other natural laws of physics. The government of France was understandably alarmed by these sightings and vowed to take the appropriate actions to
I'm not
stop
surprised.
it. The French Secretary General of Defense and National Security downplayed the threat in a public press statement, but at the same time said the country needs to develop a way to detect these, quote, small aircraft and intercept them immediately. Judging by these words, it sounds like the French government was at least a little concerned. As with most other UFO encounters, the government was also quick to provide an explanation other than alien activity. This time, France blamed anti nuclear protesters, who they thought were using drones to demonstrate how vulnerable nuclear energy is to terrorist attack. However, no activist group has stepped forward to accept the credit, which seems highly suspicious to many. Instead, many believe that aliens are to blame, and the French government made up the activists using drone stories a way to keep the general public from going into a widespread panic. The closest any official has ever come to admitting aliens were the cause was when one of the directors of a French nuclear power plant stepped forward to confirm that whatever flew over his plant was certainly not a drone. He offered no explanation as to what else it could have been, but still he said, it definitely could have not been a drone. Many UFO supporters believe aliens were observing the nuclear power plants as a way of keeping tabs on the French government, and also on human pollution levels in general. Others think that this was an obvious warning from extraterrestrials directed at the French government to stop them from using nuclear power. The next time they show up at France's power plants, many people believe the aliens will not be so peaceful. Number 1, the 2012 Galactic Olympics.
I don't know. Oh, let me guess. Let me guess. There was a UFO that was caught doing a flyby over the Olympic Stadium over in London because of the 2012 Olympics.
Perhaps no other UFO encounter is surrounded by more controversy than what happened at the 2012 London Olympics. But here's a quick rundown of the basics. During the massive fireworks display of the opening ceremony, a gigantic and creepy UFO slowly makes its looming grand entrance across the screens of thousands of home viewers. It's almost as if the large gray object is deliberately looking for attention as it towers over the fireworks and travels at a slow rate of speed. Looking at the video, you can feel a sense of unease as the UFO lurks above the international games. This time, it took 3 full days for an official explanation to surface. A spokesperson for Goodyear said it had to use its Goodyear blimp to cover the games for the NBC network. However, since Goodyear was not an official sponsor for the Olympics, they were forced to remove their logo. What people were seeing, the spokesperson insisted, was a gray Goodyear blimp that did not have its traditional logo. This sounds like a good explanation, except for one thing. The British government had already predicted aliens would visit us during the games. Well, at least one former government official did in particular. His name is Nick Pope, and he worked in the Ministry of Defense from 1985 all the way until 2006, when he parted ways with the agency to become a freelance journalist. From 1991 to 1994, he spent 3 years doing nothing but investigating official reports of UFOs for the government. With all of that said, Nick's opinions on these matters is not to be taken lightly. Earlier that month, in July
Yep.
of 2012, he had said at a conference that the Olympic Games would be a good place for aliens to make their presence known if they had any understanding of human psychology. A short while later, the UFO appears over the Olympics. This is not the only coincidence either. Shortly before the UFO sighting, Tony Blair held a meeting with the Ministry of Defense over classified UFO information. He was concerned about UFO reports being released to the public under the Freedom of Information Act, which forced the government to release certain documents when asked. Apparently, he was particularly worried about a 6,700-page report that documented every encounter with UFOs over the past 3 decades. While one could only wonder what out of this world mysteries that document contains, the main point is, why was Tony Blair even thinking about UFOs at the time? Many people have concluded that aliens were trying to make their presence known at the 2012 Olympic Games, and the world governments did their best to cover it up with the logoless Goodyear blimp story. Whether or not this is what really happened, the aliens will just have to try even harder to get our attention next time.
Yeah, maybe they should have had an entire fleet.
Thanks for
Yeah, I think during the next Olympic Games, um, the um, the aliens should actually should in fact send an entire fleet of something like 6 to 8 um, UFOs, because this to get everybody's attention, because that would certainly get raise suspicions and on some eyebrows. Um, I will admit some of these were actually quite spooky, and um, I think I remember hearing on the news a day or two after the opening of the Olympic Games back in 2012, when the London Olympics started. Um, that some people reported seeing like a UFO at the side of the TV on the corner of the TV screen or something like that. And yeah, like I said, that's just spooky. Okay, now this was Sixth Wheel UFO Science Con film. This original video is by Chills, and if you want to watch the original video without my commentary and whatnot, then I will promise you that I will provide a link to this original video in the description box down below. And until next time, goodbye for now, and have a good day or night, depending on where you live at. As long as you don't get an alien as long as you don't get abducted by any aliens.